This is Rhonda Brooks. I'm with Farm Journal Media, and I'm here today in South Central Michigan with Larry Bonnell, who's an Upstream Hero for the CTIC this year. And Larry, tell us a little bit about your farming operation here.
I farm 300 and some acres, equal 150 of soybeans, 150 of corn, about 25 to 30 of wheat. I have cover crops almost on 70% of my cropland every fall. Just trying to build my soil up, creating organic matter, and feed my bugs down there. My bugs mean a lot to me in the soil.
What do the bugs do for you?
They dissolve this residue from my corn. I have gone to conventional corn 100%. My bugs devour the corn. By the time my soybeans are coming, when I plant soybeans in the corn stubble, the bugs have totally ate all this trash from the corn. Not all of it, but they're doing their job. And I had a problem with the triple stack corn was not getting eaten up by the bugs, so I had to do something, and I did that. And you can see what has happened. All this trash, organic matter, has made my soil that much better to work.
Show us some of those pods. I know you were.
I've got some we looked at a little bit ago. Waist high, have 110 pods at 3 bean pods, some 4s.
How's this bean crop stack up to what you've been seeing the last couple of years?
This year, I believe, will be my best year ever. I'm looking at anywhere from 60 to 80 bushel an acre right now.
60 to 80 bushel an acre
60 to 80 bushel
of beans.
Acre.
What's the average around here?
Well, the highest I've ever got with the Roundup Ready technology has only been 60-some. Conventional beans, I had as high as 70 20 years ago. So that's what made me. These are Ignite soybeans, by the way. I'm sorry, Liberty. They're Group 3-5. I went to Group 3 and above because I believe that's where my yield is. We get a dry spell in the summer. You have that little period there that the beans can make up for lost time, and they're showing it this year. We were dry for the whole month of July. Never had no cracks in the ground, and the beans, they flourished in the weather because they were conserving moisture that we built up over the organic matter.
How did beans in the area look?
Some beans are rough. Some beans are only maybe a foot tall. South of here, there's some fields that were planted late that they're not going to make it. If they do, it'll be 10 bushel an acre. If they're lucky, it's one of them. Some places got rain. Being no-till, I didn't have that problem too much. My beans have stayed pretty. Haven't seen them rolling, the leaves rolling because of dry. They have really stood up.
As far as using conservation tillage, and you're saying you're no-till, how long did it take you to make that transition?
The transition, I had a lot of good people. Dan Towery, Mike Plummer, Barry Fisher. I called them and I went to a few meetings, and it took me, with the cover crop use, they were estimated right around 1 to 8 years to get fully transitioned into no-till.
So it's not something that, if someone's watching this, the message is it's not something that happens overnight.
No. It takes you about 3 years. If you plant cover crops every year, you can whittle down to less than 3 years. You might lose 10 bushel an acre the first year, but you don't have to work the ground that much. You're saving money.
So input costs.
Yeah. Your input costs, 300 acres of cropland that I no-till and I spray, it cost me 300 gallons of diesel fuel to spray it and plant it. Save me money.
Yeah. And then the other thing you were talking earlier about is just the soil quality.
My quality of my soil, my organic matter through the use of cover crops and no-till has risen from 1.4. Here at this farm is over 3. We've got 2 other farms. One is 4 and one is 5. It's unheard of in a no-till, but it's there and it's coming and it's more and more.
Which that's pretty significant because my understanding here in South Central Michigan is you got a lot of sand, a lot of rock.
Yep.
So for this part of the country, that's really good.
This ground here has, I think they hatch rocks more every year, but I mean, it seems like you pick them up and there's some more. We're not really too bad. You get north of here, they got sandy, a lot of rocks. But ours, you have to watch yourself. The automatic header control on the combine, you got to watch for rocks because my combine don't like rocks.
What would you encourage if someone's out there wanting to adopt more conservation tillage practices? Is there any advice you can provide to them?
I personally go at it slow. Take 15-acre field, 20-acre field, split it in half. If you're undecided, run half of it full tillage, half of it no-till, and I'll bet you that your cost for planting that no-till, and you'll make a few dollars. Maybe you might break even. But that full tillage corn is really going to use the money for you. So I would rather go no-till, split it in half, no-till here, full tillage here. Combine them, see what you come up with then, what it costs you. But you got to give it time, 2 to 3 years before you can reap any benefits of no-till. Plant cover crops, they will help you.
Okay, what kind of cover crops are you using?
In Michigan, we're kind of hurting. I usually like to plant mine after wheat or after soybeans. In my wheat stubble, I will use cowpeas, Austrian winter peas, annual rye, cereal rye, and I have used some tillage radishes. But I like a mix. I like a cocktail mix of cover crops. Plant a legume with a grass. You get benefits of the nitrogen, and you get with an annual rye, it'll hold the nitrogen for the corn crop in the spring. There's a lot of issues they're claiming. Some people, when they use an annual rye, as far as a burn down, I have not had any problem with that because when I burn my annual rye down, I use some residual herbicides in there that kind of don't have to worry about ryegrass coming back. Most of the time, I think that's the fault of the guy not putting enough of Roundup on to kill it total, or the temperature. In the spring, we get cold days and nights. Roundup don't work that well.
Larry, were there, when you made this transition to conservation tillage, what kinds of equipment did you hang on to? I mean...
Well, believe it or not, I still got some of them here. I had a no-till corn planter and a no-till drill. I made my own coulter cart on the original one because I couldn't afford a no-till drill. So I made up a coulter cart, put a regular grain drill behind the coulter cart. It worked fine. Then I ran across a no-till drill and I bought it. That's because I had a few more dollars than I saved.
Did you keep any of your, as far as your tillage equipment, did you hang on to, was there anything you held on to in that respect?
I still got some of it, but I'm going to get rid of it here. I told my wife, I said I haven't used it in 5 or 6, 7 years. There's no sense in even having it. I'm going to sell it all, get rid of it. If you're a little bit scared, hang on to them for a while, and that will take it. You will be okay. Yeah. But do not stop no-tilling in 1 or 2 years. Do it for 3 or 4. You will see the benefits of no-till with cover crops. I will guarantee you that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time, Larry. I really appreciate you talking with me, and Congratulations again on winning this award.